Okay, let's take a listen to what this will sound like. Pretty cool. It's pretty sick. And you'll have to trust me on this, but I was not doing anything. I was not touching any keys, not moving any parameters. It's basically all just mapping stems, naturally happen in songs, to different parameters that you already have in your TouchDesigner project. So let's see how this all works and get you started. All right, so first thing I just want to say is that the stuff I'm going to talk about in this tutorial and the example projects I use is by the incredible, amazing Elekktronaut. And he's an incredible creator that does a lot of TouchDesigner tutorials and tools, and you should really check him out. I just wanted to use some amazing looking things and show you exactly how easy they are to make audioreactive with AudioSlice, this new real-time stem splitter. So please go support Elekktronaut. Subscribe to his Patreon. You can find these exact files. I will put the link to these files that you go and subscribe to him. But he's incredible, and so this tutorial would not be the same without him. So with that said, let's jump into how this all works and get something working. Okay, so let's talk audio reactivity in TouchDesigner with real-time stem splitter. So one thing that happens when you're trying to make things audio reactive in TouchDesigner is you might grab spectrum, and you're trying to look at the audio coming in, and you're trying to figure out what frequencies or which range to use for the kick versus the snare versus maybe the vocals or the synths, and all that is crazy. It doesn't work. You change the song, you change the genre, you're going to have to do it all over again. So if you're in a VJing setup or you're just trying to make a repeatable process, it's really not the way to go. And so the tool that I'm going to be showing you today is called AudioSlice. And effectively what this is a real-time stem splitter. So as audio comes in, it's going to use a neural network to split those out into the kick and drums, like snare and that kind of thing, vocals, bass, and other. Other meaning like synths, pianos, chords, whatever have you. So let's see how this works. It's that easy. You just play it, and you have to have a setup where you're piping in the audio. Keep in mind right now AudioSlice is Mac only, but there's a Windows version coming out soon. And on Windows you'd use cable, on Mac you can use something like Black Hole or Amoeba Loopback, it doesn't really matter. The whole point is you have to basically have an audio device that it goes out to so that the little network can listen to it. And here you can see I'm just playing through my headphones and also through Black Hole. So, with that being said, how do you get into TouchDesigner? Luckily, it's quite easy. Basically, this app, as you can see, sends out through OSC messages, and these are the paths. And if you just drag in this little handy-dandy thing, and we have to match, let's see, we're sending to 127.0, 4,000. So if we just change to 4,000, great. Then if we go inside and we start playing, say, some music, And now, the question is, how do we get it into a project? Well, if we view, we can actually see this chop, and we can just start connecting it to things. And this is a little bit of trial and error, but it's kind of fun, trial and error. And what I'll basically do is I'll start looking at my network, and I will kind of just mess with stuff. And I'll see, is anything interesting? And it's useful to have a little undo key here. You can just Control Z if you don't like it. And we're kind of looking for floating point parameters because basically every signal that comes through here for each of these stems is in the range of 0 to 1. And we have these different stems. You can see there's slow bass versus bass. That's just the difference based on how much smoothing there is. So this one kind of is a little more peaky. Or you can see this one reacts a little bit more slowly, but it gives us a bit more steady of a signal. So if we keep going, again, we're looking for things. Let's see. Oh, that's kind of useful. I can see that kind of like, if we start there, we just like, something like that. So we could take our drums and we could maybe throw that onto our period. Maybe even bass would be better there. Let's check that out. And you can always look at the expression and what it's doing here. And that'll be a helpful thing for us. I will even use this to scale it, or we can reverse the direction. Okay. I still haven't decided if I like that better as drums or bass, but let's keep messing around here. Oh, okay. That's kind of interesting. So this exponent, as we go down a bit, it gets a little fuzzier. So maybe if we did something a little crazy, like if we said, let's do 1 minus, and we'll scale that down quite a bit. And what this will kind of allow us to do, we hope, is maybe, let's just make this a little better workspace here. Maybe this will let us kind of dip down. You're seeing that it looked really nice around exponent 1 versus like 0.8. Yeah, not too bad. Oh, nice. Okay, that's pretty sick, actually. Yeah. So as you can kind of see, it's really just trial and error. You're kind of messing around. I mean, we can see, oh, there's like this that we could do. Okay, so right around, 50, and you can see we could just kind of have that sort of like, do something there maybe. This amplitude, that could be like a really cool thing on drum hits. I'm not going to go super in depth with this. You can kind of see how this works. I want to move on to the next example and show you, but this is one way where you can see how we're using AudioSlice just on a couple of parameters on various different things, and you can see how awesome it looks in a song naturally with transitions just because it's reacting to elements in the song, not just like audio levels. So let's take a look at another example project. Now keep in mind, all these projects are by our wonderful friend Elekktronaut. And I will be posting his link in there in the description. So please do go and follow his Patreon. He's incredible. Cool, so we've got some kind of cool, funky thing going on here. Let's just run the playbook. Let's throw in AudioSlice. Let's maybe pick a different port this time, 4001. If we've got multiple instances running, Touch doesn't like it if we're trying to share ports. And then we once again we view. And then, yeah, let's try playing now maybe a different track. And let's kind of do the same playbook. We can go through, we can look. Ooh, that's kind of a fun one. Maybe like on drum hits, we could do something with that. Let's see. So it starts at 2. That's kind of a nice value. So perhaps we do something like 2 plus, right? So it can go up to 3. And if we want the range to improve, let's say we want it to go from 2 to 4, you just do something like 2 plus 2 times. So that means the max, the smallest value is going to be 2. And the biggest value is just going to be 2 plus 2 times 1, which is 4. So, I don't know, let's see how it looks. You never really know. I mean, they try it. Looks pretty cool. Let's see what else we've got here. Oh, we've got radius. That's probably a good one. Let's see if we maybe bass. Oh! Now, you do have to be careful. This is a perfect example of certain things in TouchDesigner are made using feedback. And as it so happens, I'm pressing 1 here for this network. I don't know exactly where it is, but yeah, keyboard in. So you have to be careful because if you oversaturate it, if you're like, oh, on drums I want it to go huge, you might end up in a spot where you're oversaturating and feedback causes things to not look great. So let's try it again. Pretty cool. And what I love about this is that in quieter parts of your song, it's going to fade sort of into... So let's watch this. Ooh, and for a section like that, or more generally in our songs, cool is to have something that gives us a little bit on those synth hits, maybe. Oh yeah, like maybe. I don't know if that's quite noticeable enough. Let's see, it looks kind of good between, what was the original value? 0.35, maybe 0.35 and 1. So let's do something like stem other is starting at 0.35 and let's have it go up to, well, let's just say for now. Yeah, 0.35. Well, let's make it to 1, so maximum of 1. Let's try that. then again, here's a pretty cool example of, we maybe adjusted 3 or 4 different parameters, and we got something that we can kind of start to build an experience around a particular way that, songs tend to rise and crest and fall, and I think that's a pretty cool way to do that. So there's another example. Cool. So here we have our final example from the amazing, incredible, again, Elekktronaut. And this is another cool one. So let's jump into it. Let's use the playbook. Okay. I made it with the experimental version, so I'll fix that, but it doesn't really matter. Works the same. It's just OSCN. So let's run the playbook. Let's go back. Let's change this to 4002. Change this port to 4002. And now if we play, say, another song. Let's make sure we're getting input. We are. This is a little bassier song, so let's see how this might work. Let's start messing around. Let's start kind of testing different parameters. Ooh, that's interesting. It's kind of discontinuous though, so I'm not a huge fan of that because when we're modulating these things, it's 0 to 1, and if it causes sort of discontinuities, it's not exactly what we want. Oh, that's money right there. Okay, so maybe if we do harmonic gain, let's do bass. Let's do drums. So let's do drums, and again, let's think about starting any values. Let's say 5 plus. Maybe let's do 2, because I thought it looked pretty good at 2.7 as well. So that's kind of the default position. Let's see. So what I'm seeing is this, it's very sensitive to this. So a couple things we can do. We can either turn it down a bit, but it's still a little too jerky for my liking. So, another thing we can do is we can do stem drum slow. Just to be a bit smoother. But I think it would actually look better for bass doing this. Let's see. This tutorial, by the way, is not rehearsed. I'm really just messing with stuff. So. Let's have it start a little bit larger and go a little bit. Let's also test against a different song. let's see what other levers we've got. Oh, that's kind of an interesting one. Maybe actually we do want this to be bass. And then kind of pull a similar trick. Again, we end up using a noise. It's not always noises that are the best, but noises, the nice thing about them, like we showed in the other example, is that they have a lot of parameters which are continuous, which is kind of a nice thing for when we're doing audio reactive stuff. So let's kind of run this playbook again. 1 minus, something like that. And as you can see there, I like the slow drums. It's just a bit better. It's a bit less jerky. Oh, amplitude. Oh. Oh. Do I want drums there too? Man. I hate to use drums for everything, but I do like that idea. So they're using other, which kind of gives us that if there's some chords or ethereal stuff going on, having that affect the
¿Qué quieres hacer? No me has hecho mucho bien. He dado todo por...
So you get the idea. It's maybe a little choppier than I would have liked it, but kind of by reducing the ranges and playing with it a bit, you can get something that looks cool. So yeah, that's yet another example. Let's take a final look at our last example. And this one is a bit more slow moving and kind of ethereal, but it's interesting. And it's got a lot going on. So honestly, I'm not sure how this is going to pan out, but let's go for it. Well, let's run the playbook. So VJ Lab, let's see. Okay, this last project of Elekktronaut, which is a kind of cool one that I wanted to show you, it's a bit more ethereal. It's got a lot going on. It's got some particles, it's running the GPU. So honestly, I'm not sure how this is going to turn out because it's a bit slower, but hey, let's see what we can do. So let's run our playbook. Audio settings, TouchDesigner. Let's look at this one. Let's make it 004. Why not? Drag in our AudioSlice component. Close that. Go 4004. Check on. Oops. Check on. Okay. We've got input. Now let's see what the hell this thing is doing. Every project can be a little bit of a challenge, but that's kind of the fun part, you know. A super immediate effect. Again, I'm just kind of messing with stuff. I'm hitting Control Z. It doesn't really do what I want. I can restart it, it looks like, with keyboard N. Pressing 1. Got some feedback going on. Oh, actually, that feedback opacity is a pretty good candidate. Now, something that I haven't shown a bit, but I think could be valuable, is thinking more about less like hits and like things that are happening, but more about sort of how you want this to look in certain parts of the song. You could actually do something for one of these slow bass kind of things, where you do something like this, and over time, what this will allow us to do is the sim bass slow is this will cause the thing to get more bright. Just on each hit, it takes more of a few notes in a row. And so that's good for if you want something to change kind of more materially, say on a chorus, or a drop, or a series of notes. So there you can see it's not increasing brightness that much, but that looks cool. Maybe we should just do drums. I do kind of like that. I don't like things to change too fast. You know.
Brothers, my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, never gotta roll with ice.
So we get a little bit of blur that kind of happens to actually be there, but sort of back off when the drums hit. So we get more clarity when the drums hit, which is kind of the way I would think about it. Which is kind of a cool effect. So what else? Just mess with some stuff, you know. Oh, you know, an interesting thing also is to just have say nothing actually playing and there's no bass. So the way you do that, you just say, oh, I want this to be when I play bass.
These brothers, my guys. Or die. Oh, these brothers, my guys. Or die. Now I gotta roll with ice. Oh, these brothers, my guys. Or die.
So I hope this has been useful for all of you. Once again, I will put links to this AudioSlice software, as well as Elekktronaut, so you can find the projects that I used in this, and you can go support him and all of his incredible work. I'll also put links to Black Hole, which is how I set up this setup so that you can get the audio in. And I'll also have links to this AudioSlice talks. So that's all, folks, and enjoy. Happy making things audio reactive.